only half hour. Hello, everybody. We're late, but we're here. It's been, and actually Shannon's on the road too, so Shannon's not joining us. It's just me and Miss RG here. We're here for another straight talk. We come to you guys every Friday. We want to talk about business, health, life in general, and we're here to give you the straight talk about it every week. So thank you for joining me, RG. Sorry I was late. I was grocery shopping.
Not a problem.
We
Absolutely.
have a big barbecue this weekend, and I totally lost track of time. I'm so excited. So we actually have two events going on here. We have our yearly barbecue, and then I have a big Plexus event here on Sunday. So lots on the go. And then you've got yours the week after, I believe, isn't it?
I do, and I want to invite everyone to come to Roland, Oklahoma, right in the center of the USA. I have a very special friend coming. Her name is Janelle Brown, and you may or may not know that name, but if you watch Sister Wives, which a lot of people do, I'm so surprised at how many people watch this real life thing that's been happening for, I don't know, the last 14, 15 years.
More
Well,
than that, I think they're on like 21 seasons or
oh
something
my
like
gosh,
that.
yeah, just a long time. Anyone that watches it will know who she is. She's wife number
Two.
two. Okay, I can never remember wife number two, but she is the most. She was the wife number two. Let me clear that up. I think they're all divorced now. Anyway,
Except for number 4. I think.
yeah.
Yeah, I think number 4. But we are very blessed because we happen to be friends with the amazing Janelle. RG got to meet her over conference when we went for our Plexus conference. I got to meet Janelle on the leadership cruise that I earned in February. And Janelle's actually going to be here up in Canada at my place on Sunday for my event as well. So we're really blessed that, she's taken the time out of her, very busy schedule to come and hang out with us and talk about gut health and all the things.
Yep. And you can always get your picture made with her. I will say this. When Nikki and I were with her in Dallas back in June, it was like we were walking with a star, a reality star, and we had to push people out of the way so we could get through because everybody in the world wanted to stop and take a picture with her. And we were trying to get to a reservation for a meal, and we're like, I'm not sure we're going to make it. But, she handled all that so well. Me, on the other hand, I'm like not quite as patient as she is. But she said, oh, I'm used to it. Just let them snap a picture. And I'm like,
And
okay.
I was laughing, and I even told her, I'm like, do I need to, channel the old bouncer in me and like just part the ways here? Because we're going to do this if we have to. Like, we're not going to miss out on our dinner. But she just shows up with such grace and poise, and it's just one more reason that we absolutely love her. I mean, she's got way more patience than I ever would. And that's probably why the most reality TV y'all are ever going to see of me is live on social media because, I ain't got the patience.
And you're lucky you're getting this that way because neither one of us are, really gung ho. But I love my Friday straight talks. And today we're going to continue kind of with what we started last week, but we're going to dig a little deeper. We're going to get kind of personal. And I'm really sorry Shannon couldn't be here with us because between the three of us, we've all been through this mess. And I don't want anyone out there to go through insulin resistance. And it's just the fact of a metabolic reset in your body can totally heal so many things, and been there, done that. All three of us have been there and done that. And if I can save just one person from having a toe amputated or losing a limb, a leg, or a heart attack with a blood clot, or just one, if I can just save just one, then God has put me on this earth for a reason. But I would like to save a whole bunch more than one.
Absolutely. And I mean, for me, what really drives me to talking to people about health, and especially like insulin resistance, and how amazing these metabolic resets are, is how you feel, your
Mhm.
day-to-day quality of life.
Yeah.
Like I have suffered with migraines since I was a teenager, and I had no idea until I got my gut right how much those migraines were connected to my gut. I've been told for years, oh, you have a light sensitivity. If you wear shades, if you do this, if you do that, and it's just part of your life. You're just going to have to deal with it. Guys, when I fixed my gut, my migraines, I mean, I used to get 2 and 3 a week. I would have some that would last 3, 4, 5 days. Now, do I get the odd one? Yes. Is it because I've pushed myself too far? Probably.
Mhm.
Or I do get the ones when I get an extreme barometric pressure change. Those I feel right off the hop. Um, but I can take a Advil, a Motrin, go lay down for 20 minutes. I get up and I'm raring to rock and roll again. And I was never able to do that. And again, we're talking years. I mean, I've been hospitalized over them on multiple occasions. I had one of my former employers actually call my husband because I showed up at work because I'm stubborn like that. And I had a migraine so bad I could barely stand up. But I went to work and he called my husband and said, "Come pick this woman up and take her to the emerge." And I was released about 7 or 8 hours later. You know.
Okay, so I want to tell you my saga.
Mhm.
I wouldn't exactly call it a saga. I was just plain sick and have been from birth. So, what I had was polycystic ovarian syndrome. And in a nutshell, that is horrible cyst on my ovaries. And now, when I said I've been sick all my life, when I was younger, like three up to when my cycle started, I got up every morning and I threw up. I mean, literally threw up. And it didn't matter if I ate breakfast, if I didn't eat breakfast, I was sick and I didn't know why. And then as I got older, I had irregular, horrible periods that just took me down. And my mother said, "Well, I don't know how to help you because I've never had this problem." So she takes me to an old country doctor because, we lived out in the sticks and she had to drive into town to get to the country doctor. And I was about, I don't know, maybe 11, 12 at the time. She finally figured out I was going to die from not being able to absorb my food because I was so skinny. And he said, "Honey, I don't know what's wrong with you. The only time I've ever seen these symptoms was when uh, you were pregnant." And I looked at him. I said, "I'm 11 years old. I don't even have a boyfriend. How can I be pregnant?" So he put me on morning sickness medicine for pregnant women. And of course, that made matters worse. And now that drug has been outlawed for years because it was so dangerous to women and to their unborn babies. And I'm like, dear God, I took that when I was 11 years old. And you know what? I suffered and suffered and suffered and suffered with all of this. And then, when I did get married, and um, actually, I was very, very fortunate to get pregnant, and I have one child, the blessings of my life. But the whole time, I had all these other symptoms. And my husband at the time just accused me of being, quote unquote, lazy, and maybe I had mental problems. And I'm like, yeah, I have mental problems. I'm going to kill you probably. But I didn't do that. But how those things go. And when I would go through my cycle, I hurt so bad. I was wishing that I was dead. That's how bad it hurt.
Yeah.
And then finally, when I was, I think 24 or 25, I went to another big city doctor, and he told me that I had cancer just because he found a cyst on my ovary. And I'm like, okay, well, let's get her out of there. We have company.
She has to be involved today.
That's okay. So, long story short, I went through chemo and radiation for a cancer that I didn't have. I did have a cyst on my ovary that was the size of an orange. And I guess, can you just even imagine how freaking painful that was? But here's what the doctor said. Oh, you're way too young to have a hysterectomy. You might want to have more children, blah, 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 blah. So at the age of 38, I was still having problems, still hurting, couldn't function in the real world normally. And so I go back to another doctor, and he finally said, well, we're going to do a hysterectomy at 38, which put me into instant menopause. The whole thing throughout this whole early life, half of my life of being in pain, was because I had Hashimoto's, which is my little thyroid was messed up and caused all these problems and the insulin resistance. And then, I had the hysterectomy, and all of a sudden I became a diabetic, a type 2 diabetic. And I had this weight gain. I went from 128 to 178, like it seemed like overnight. And I go back to my doctor, and he says, oh, well, you just need to exercise more and eat less. He doesn't know how lucky he is to still be living at this point, because I almost came off the table and choked him right there in his office. I'm like, I lift weights every day. I run 5 miles and I eat like a bird. So you're telling me exactly how should I modify all of this? He didn't know that I had Hashimoto's because nobody ever bothered to check my thyroid. Hello.
No.
And it was all wrapped around insulin resistance. My whole life has been wrapped around insulin resistance. So I want to give you a few symptoms. And this is but a few. Okay. So if you have brain fog, let me tell you about my brain fog. I have been known to put the salt and pepper shakers in the refrigerator and then spend half a day looking for them. Okay, the salt and pepper shakers don't go in the refrigerator. Then one day I was reading a really nice book, and I found it in the refrigerator because brain fog. I didn't know where I was and what I was doing most of the time. I'm lucky to be alive. So then along with the brain fog comes the anxious stuff and the depression. I know Nikki has had that. Visceral fat. How many of you have that little tire around your mid-waist?
Oh, yeah.
Now we're two women here sitting and talking about this, but this applies to men too. So I don't know how many men are going to be listening to us flap our jaws, but I hope my ex-husband is listening, because I'm not crazy. I was sick. Hello. So, but that visceral fat is dangerous. It leads to high blood pressure. It leads to your cholesterol. You have bad cholesterol, good cholesterol. You have all kinds of the cholesterol stuff. And it all needs to balance where it needs to balance. Erectile dysfunction. Nikki and I don't have that problem. But from a man's point of view, low testosterone is tied to insulin resistance. I've already told you about the ovary cyst. Nikki's told you about the migraines. How about acid reflux? Do you just think, oh, maybe I shouldn't have eaten that certain food, or maybe any food you eat gives you acid reflux, and you go to the doctor and they put you on these horrible drugs that takes care of the acid reflux, but it's not taking care of the problem. Okay?
No. No, because I mean, I found even with my medical, because I mean, we discussed quite a bit of it last week, is, they always like to fix the symptoms.
It's not the
They
problem.
don't try to cure
Hmm.
what's causing it. And
Yeah.
I mean, we're really, really blessed now to have things like social media and online. You can Google things. Now, not everything on Google is fact. You need to do your due diligence. You need to actually research it. But guys, we're in a place where we can actually talk about stuff like this. I
Yeah.
mean, 20 years ago, you would never see two women going in an open forum discussing the different issues that happen with gut health, discussing menopause, discussing all these things. That was not something that happened. I mean, we didn't even discuss it really in our living rooms, right? Female problems, even male problems. It was always hush hush. You just kind of grinned and bared it. And it's time to change that. This is something that's really, really big on our hearts. That's why we're going to, we might end up having a few more straight talks about this issue because it's huge.
Huge.
You know, um, they're 25 to 30%. So you were talking about that visceral fat. But
Hmm.
guys, you have 25 to 30% of adults have a non-alcoholic fatty
Liver.
liver. Fatty liver, guys. And that's non-alcoholic. So this is saying you can do all the right things, right? Maybe you drink, maybe you don't. You know, if your gut health and if you're insulin resistant, you're going to have things going wrong with your body that you just cannot understand. And I mean, some doctors, you can get some really great doctors that will actually do the digging. Okay. But a lot of times you have to fight for it, whether you're in Canada or the US or
Wherever.
wherever.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, you have to be an advocate for yourself. So that's why we're so open about our stories and that sort of thing. I mean, I had my hysterectomy at 33, a couple of days before my 33rd birthday. Same thing. I went through the same thing as RG. You know, so a lot of these things, this is why we're so open about it. It is time to stop hiding these issues. It's really time to start talking about it, asking questions, and that sort of thing. Because something as simple as insulin resistance, not that it's simple, but something as small
Yeah.
as insulin resistance can cause you so many issues. And sometimes all of a sudden, once you get your gut health fixed, that insulin resistance goes away. I was told I'm borderline hypoglycemic, borderline diabetic. Well, maybe I was just insulin resistant
Hmm.
because I'm telling you, 90% of these things I had going on in my life. I fixed my gut, and guess what? Everything else started fixing. So, whether you're my age, Archie's age, younger, guys, really, men and women, you need to take this serious because something as simple as insulin resistance can cause so much long term damage. And like RG said, you can lose a limb, you know, but maybe it's not that extreme for you. Maybe just your quality of life sucks. Maybe you put your glasses on top of your head and spend half the day looking for it.
Or the salt
Here,
and pepper in the refrigerator.
here's my worst one. I'm on the phone. I'm talking to someone and I'm tearing apart my damn house looking for my phone that's in my hand. Like, you know, or I'll
Don't
be
be
sitting there
afraid.
looking for the keys that are clipped onto my jeans and I'm tearing apart the house looking for the keys that I have. I mean, how many people have used their phone as a flashlight to try to find their phone? I
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you because we've been there. We've done
have.
it. So, I mean, come on. Now, I want to back up just a little bit and
Yeah.
I want to give you just, you know, I'd love to hop in and give you some science, but that might be over a lot of people's head. But I want to give you a little history of why all of a sudden the world has insulin resistance.
Mhm.
So let's go back to when my grandparents were working the land, growing all their fresh fruits and vegetables and those types of things. We ate differently. No, not we, they ate differently. And then all of a sudden, we go through the World War One, Two, Korean War, all those things, and we have an abundance of sugar. And then we have an abundance of weeds with being treated with insecticides. And I'm just barely touching on things, you know.
Seed oils.
Our food source changed. It all of a sudden became unhealthy. It all of a sudden became processed.
Mhm. Well, and here's another thing. We went from animal fats and actual dairy for our butter. We were told it's bad for you.
Mhm.
And what did we go to? Well, we went into seed oils. Why? Because seed oils are so much cheaper to manufacture than good old olive oil and real butter. So now we're replacing food staples. I mean, in our house, we're butter people. We're not
Mhm.
margarine people in this house, but margarine became a cheaper alternative. And I mean, we were dealing with the depression, money wasn't there, people didn't have money, and it would get extra meat on your bones. Wasn't nutritious meat on your bones, but it was something that needed to be done to help at the time. Now, these seed oils are so bad for us. We got the pesticides that are used to create them, right? And you got to go back to old school. I swear by it. Everything is so processed. You can't get cheese, your everything.
It's horrible. Now, Nikki's in Canada, I'm in the US. So we're not just talking about North America.
No.
We're talking about the world because
Yeah.
everywhere you go, you'll find a McDonald's
Hmm.
or a
Now,
fast food joint or something. You think you're eating healthy, but you're really not.
no. No, and I just want to throw one little brain moment here. And anybody that's got ADHD, you're probably going to research the hell out of this like I did. But I got thinking about it. Cancer's an epidemic worldwide except for some third world countries. Hmm.
Hmm.
What do we do differently, guys? We
We go
eat
to
too much.
McDonald's.
We
And
eat too
I'm
much.
not just, don't take me wrong. I'm not just shaming McDonald's.
No.
I don't want to be sued by McDonald's. Okay, come on.
No. And
I'm
and
talking
here's the thing,
about fast
guys.
food.
We love our Sonic. RG took me actually RG took me to Chick-fil-A. I had my first Chick-fil-A and I've become an absolute addict. I will admit that. Then my son informs me when I got home that there is a Chick-fil-A in Edmonton. Okay? So we're not saying never treat yourself. Okay? Let's get real. We eat junk food. Her husband makes this amazing dill pickle cream cheese dip that's to die for with chips and all the junk. But you know what? It's in moderation. And
Mhm.
that's the difference. We're not saying don't go get those pizzas, don't go get that McDonald's when you need it, or Burger King, or Dunkin' Donuts, or Tim Hortons. I had my Timmy's earlier today when I was in town. But what we're saying, guys, is it has to be in moderation. And what you eat fuels your body for the good or the bad.
Yeah.
And if you think about all these places that don't have cancer as a major, major issue, well, you have to take a look at what the difference is. They're in the sun more than we are. They are. They get more extreme UV damage and exposure than we do, but they're not at McDonald's. They're not at Burger King, Timmy's, Dunkin' Donuts. They're not chugging back sugar left, right, and center. If they are, it's actual sugar cane. It's monk fruit. It's not processed sweeteners. And look at all the diet stuff out there. It's aspartame.
Mm.
It's all the junk, guys. And we need to be really, really mindful of what we're putting into our bodies.
They're called cancer causing agents, and you're not going to get that from your doctor. You're not going to get it from the big pharma. And I can tell you this, if you're listening to us today, you'll think, well, I'll go to Walmart and I'll go down that health food aisle and I'll pick me up a bottle of vitamins and I'll take those and I'll be okay. Well, guess what? If your gut's messed up, you're wasting your money because you're just swallowing those pills. I once, and this is a true story, I once had a sanitation worker tell me that, when they go to pump out septic tanks and things, they said the biggest thing that we see that clogs the drains are all the vitamins and those things that people have put in their systems that just run right through, stop up the drains, and then we get the call. He said, you would not believe how many septic tanks and systems that we've cleaned out where all we're doing is scooping up these pills. And I'm just standing there going, and look how much money you're wasting. So I guess what I'm saying to you is do your research.
Absolutely.
Yes, there are good products out there that you can use that will help clean up your gut system. And I am so thankful that I finally got my gut headed in the right direction. It's not totally clear up yet, but we're getting there. And
Absolutely.
check this out. Look at this hair. It's growing. I've never had long hair in my life, ever. Look at my skin, y'all. Let me get close so you can see my skin. Yeah, I've got a few wrinkles up here and I got a few around my eyes. Y'all, I'm almost 70 years old. And I'm talking with this cystic stuff that I had when I was younger. I had the ugliest, worst, sick face. I still have scars here on my cheeks. I mean, I would have cysts. Not did I just have them on my ovaries. I had them on my face.
Yeah.
And let me tell
And
you,
I was really lucky in my teens. I didn't have any kind of acne or anything like that. I've always had really good skin on my face. On my face. I had acne, right? I had pimples on my back. And yes, I would get I was actually talking to a lady in town the other day, and I would get cysts on my bottom, and they would
me too.
hurt. And they would hurt,
Horrible.
you know? And I would get the pimples in my bikini line, and I
Mm,
would get the pimples under my armpits. So
mm,
you couldn't see really that I had acne issues, but I did. And they were very uncomfortable and the whole 9 yards. But again, let's get back to the gut health. Guys, I don't have those issues anymore.
me
That's
either.
why that's why we're talking about this. You know, I lose hair like crazy. I always have. I mean, my husband has teased me about I shed worse than the dogs ever since he's known me. But I've never been able to grow my hair this long. Never. If my hair was this long, I was doing good because it would get so thin and so heavy, because I've got very fine hair, but I got a lot of it. Now I shave the back of my head because I can't handle the weight of all my hair.
Oh,
Um,
what a problem to have.
I know, right? But guys, my hair has never been this healthy. My nails have never been this healthy. This is like, I
These are the
mean,
real babies here.
just gel. and a gel nail polish, you know. I mean, give it a week and these suckers will be so long I'll be trimming them off again. You know, when you take care of your gut, everything else starts getting better.
Mhm.
I will say one thing, my prescription on my eyes progressively was getting worse. Year after year after year after year. I had to change my prescription or I was blind as a bat. This is the same prescription now going on 3 years. Okay. Does it need a little bit of an adjustment? Yes. But it's not to the extreme that my old glasses won't work. So instead of going out and dropping another $1,000 on glasses, I can get a pair. And maybe I use those and I get my blue light ones for my computer. Or I will get ones like these that are tinted and that's for my driving. Because I do have a light sensitivity issue. So I do take that into consideration. The gut health isn't going to change your underlying issues. However, fixing your gut makes the symptoms less and less and less. And there are some things that are strictly due to your gut health.
Yeah.
100%.
Some things that we haven't talked about is skin tags, and I'm going to show you the back of my hands. Let me see if I can get them up here. See these little black spots on there? Dark
Mhm.
spots, I should say.
Yeah.
They used to be a lot worse. Y'all, this is from gut health.
Gut
Everybody
health.
says, oh no, that's from the sunburns you got as a child and blah, blah, blah. No,
Mm-mm.
gut health.
Yeah.
And I used to have them all over my face. I don't even have those anymore. I'm telling y'all, skin tags. I don't know how many of you have ever had skin tags. They can pop up anywhere and everywhere on your body. That's from insulin resistance, y'all. Come on. If you're constantly hungry and but I'm eating healthy, you know, I'm going to McDonald's and getting a fry. That's healthy. I won't eat the whole thing. I'll only eat half of them. I'm like, come on. You can't lose weight. You're always craving either sugar or salt. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, I never craved sugar, but Lord have mercy, I crave me some salt.
Me too.
Same symptom. It's from insulin resistance. So, guys, we're here to, we're not, well, I started to say we're not doctors. I am a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. Okay. Let's just put it out there. I'm a doctor of leadership, organizational leadership. But I know how to do research and I know what's been wrong with my health and I know how I'm fixing it. So if
Yeah.
you want some inside information from not just me and not just Nikki, Shannon has been through this much more than we have. And let me tell you something. I lost my dad to complications of skin cancer. I lost my brother to complications of acid reflux that turned into cancer. I've lost so many family and friends due to cancer and me sitting here going, but it was all around gut health.
Yeah.
You don't want to see your family and friends get legs amputated or to die from cancer. It is horrific.
Absolutely.
So do something about it now.
Well, and it doesn't matter. You can be, I mean, I don't know of any teens that would be watching us, but maybe you have teens in your life.
Hmm.
Okay. The earlier you get started on this, the longer your life can live. The longer and not just live life, but live
Live life.
life. Okay? It's one thing to just go through life day after day after day. It's another thing to get up in the morning and go, I get to live another day. I get to live another day. I'm going to plan an event for next year. I'm going to plan for 5 years down the road. I'm going to make a plan for 10 years down the road. Guys, I couldn't do that 4 or 5 years ago.
Me either.
I planned for tomorrow if I was lucky because honestly, some days it depended on how I felt when I woke up.
Hmm.
You know, I wouldn't, I mean, I'm so blessed to be able to do these barbecues every year now. It's something we had done for years, and then COVID hit, and I'll admit, COVID wiped the life out of me. Did I get it? No, not until, last year was actually my first time of getting it, unless you count the side effects from the shots that I got.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but COVID did damage to me on a mental side.
Me too.
And because my gut health was so bad, and I didn't know it, I thought I was doing everything right, guys. I never drink diet pop. Never. I'm not a diet pop kind of girl. The aspartame would mess with my blood sugar. That's what I was told. You know, I drink 4 pots of coffee a day. I drink 2 or 3 monsters a day on top of that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I could buy that stuff by the case. You know, but other than that, I didn't eat a lot. I was on calorie restrictions, and then I found out I was restricting my calories too much because I wasn't even feeding myself. So you get the gut fixed. Then when you're actually putting that time and effort into eating the right foods, you're actually getting the nutrients from those foods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you're taking the right supplements, your body's absorbing the supplements. And I've done the whole Walmart, I'm just going to make my own little concoction
Yeah.
because I can't have, up until now, I had a really bad reaction to iron supplements, even if it was in a multivitamin.
Mm.
I could not. I've been anemic, but I couldn't take iron, or I'd be on the toilet for 3, 4 days. So I had to go out and buy the B12, buy this. And I had a counter full of vitamins that I thought I was doing what was best for my body. My body wasn't absorbing it. I was getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, at my highest, I was 327, 328. I was well over 320 pounds. You know, I'm down into the 250s now, 260 sometimes. It depends. I fluctuate. My weight can fluctuate between 5 pounds in a week. I'm okay with that, right? Because
Yeah.
I know I'm making progress and I know that I feel good. I get up in the morning and I feel good. I go to bed at night and I feel good. Do I need sleeping pills on occasion? Yes. But I have healthy ones. I have amazing ones from the company that I'm with. So I'm not adding more crap into my system that doesn't help. And I couldn't even, those would not have worked on me a few years ago. They wouldn't. Mind you, didn't help that I was drinking 4 pots of coffee and I had enough caffeine in my system to power a steam engine, I'm sure. You know, but, guys, it's a really good feeling. And talk to your friends and family about it too.
And let's go back to making those plans. I told y'all I turned 70 in January, this coming January. So my plan got a little sidetracked by Mother Nature. I was going to hike the Grand Canyon from rim to rim before I hit 70. So I had that on my schedule to do that this fall, when things cool down out there in the canyon. Well, the fires are still burning and everybody's locked from doing the rim to rim. So maybe it just wasn't quite my time. So it's still on my plans
Mhm.
when we get the fires out and things settle back down. So if any of you want to get healthy with me and go hike the canyon rim to rim, bring your booties on.
Amen.
Go
You
hike,
know I'm in.
go hike with this 70-year-old lady because
And
we're going to have some fun.
we are. So I'll be 45 this year. So that's kind of a milestone birthday, I figure. So for me, it was part of my to do before I'm 50. It absolutely was. I wanted to hike the Grand Canyon, see the Grand Canyon, which is why, in all honesty, RG and I had talked about doing this excursion this coming fall. But maybe the reason we're not doing it this fall is some of y'all have to be there with us.
Absolutely.
So maybe it's something we make an actual event, we make a retreat out of it. We would love your feedback, guys. Like, we don't do this to talk to ourselves. We can talk to ourselves all day long. We don't have to be on camera. You know, we have no problem, but we're coming to you because we know there's a need. And we love getting feedback. So, and it's a safe space. I mean, you can come to me, you can come to RG, you can go to Shannon, you know, you can comment on any of the places that you're seeing this streamed or hearing it, because we do stream this to Spotify every week as well. You know, um, but reach out and let us know if you're getting value, if you have questions, and it's not just about the supplements that we take. Maybe if you're in a location, we can put you in tune with someone that could help you with your mental health
Mm-hmm.
or your physical health,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just remember, your gut does a lot to do with your mental health as well. It has changed mine, it's changed Shannon, it's changed RG. You know, it's one of those things, guys. It's so important, and I don't think you're ever going to get us off this soapbox.
Not gonna get me off
Mhm.
because I'm not going anywhere except the Grand Canyon. And if you want to go with me, you got to get yourself healthy. Got to get in a little bit of condition because that's not an easy hike. Okay. So,
No. And if you're coming from up north like me, we got to acclimate to that temperature just a
mhm.
little bit. I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm living in hot Oklahoma right now. So the heat, yeah, but that's not the same heat that's down in that canyon.
No.
Even in October or the fall, it's still going to stress us, our bodies to the max. And so we want to be in the best condition that we can be in.
Absolutely. So, was there anything else you wanted to do? Oh, we do have a small announcement. Even though Shannon is not here, I do want to shout out. She is working on a rebrand herself. So maybe this is the theme, but A&J Decals is now going to be A&J Creative. Reason behind it, the vision behind it is the fact, guys, she's not just doing decals. She's going to be there to really help support you in all things branding, your brand, your business, t-shirts, shirts, mugs, swag, so on and so on and so on and so on, guys. None of us are playing small anymore. We're all really upping our game here. I know RG's got some really big programs she's building, and I'm so excited and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. And yeah, I'm putting together a 12-month program myself. Thanks to the encouragement of these wonderful ladies, because I wouldn't have pushed myself this far. Let's put it that way. I would not have pushed myself this far were it not for these ladies in my life. So
And I have to tell you, I have a new book coming out. It's called Bobby Boomer and the Bees. And guess
I
who is illustrating that for me? Miss Shannon. So
know.
just prepare yourself. You'll see that new children's book coming before the end of the year, we're hoping. So, yeah.
Yes. So many big things, guys. And we want to hear about your big things. Maybe it's small things. Okay? Let us know. We are considering making a group as well, because we really want to turn this into a community and give you guys some safe spaces to come to and ask for opinions and help and that sort of thing. So bear with us as we grow and everything else. Um, Share with some women or men in your life that you feel could really get some value from this. And again, reach out with any questions. And if we don't know the answers, we can maybe point you in the right direction.
Mhm.
So, because we
Absolutely.
don't know it all. I mean, we know a lot, but we don't know it all.
But we know how to do research.
Absolutely.
That's that DR in front of my name. I had to do a lot of research to get that DR. So I know how to do it.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Well, you guys have a fabulous weekend. If you are up in the Glendon, Bonnieville area, shoot me a message. Again, the event's on Sunday. We're happy to have you out here. Janelle is coming. She's going to be here spending the day with us. And we're going to do some more talk about gut health, but you also get some, snackies, and we got some drinks and all the fun stuff as well. So let me know. We still have a few spaces available. We are keeping it kind of a smaller group, just because we want a little bit more of an intimate setting here. And yeah, it's available. And Miss Argie's is next weekend.
Next Saturday, August the 9th, at the local Mexican restaurant. We're doing a sip and dip. So there'll be all kinds of chips and dips and mocktails with the new drinks. So come get your picture made with Janelle. We're doing this the 2 to 4, kind of an open-ended thing. So, that's also the weekend of back to school, tax-free weekend. So you're going to be out shopping anyway. So you might as well stop by and have some chip and dips on us and get your picture made with Janelle and have a fun time.
Get some of that gut healthy energy boost that we just rely on so much these days.
All right.
All
Bye.
right, guys. Have a great week.